Good afternoon, everyone. So we're going to start with a round of introductions, and we'll go from there. I'll start from my right and move towards my left. Kumar, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Kumar, Gaurav. I'm a founder and CEO of Cashaa. Cashaa is a business bank. Mostly we give bank accounts to crypto companies. That's all, nothing much here. We are here to today talk about, I think, CeFi versus DeFi, and I think Arnav is going to take a lead on this.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Ellis. I'm CEO of the blockchain commodity. Before 6 months, I was the CIO of the Moderator bank. So my switch is more like from DeFi to CeFi. So that is a good topic and want to share some experience to you guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Nevis. It's been almost 9 to 10 years that I have been a financial planner for high net worth investors and helping people structure their finances at a corporate level. Our continuous study has allowed me to be exposed to the DeFi space, and that is how I was so confident about way this world is going to take us that I plan to name the project after me. So let's see how this discussion goes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Muhammad Isa from Panelists. We're the blockchain analytics company. We provide data analytics for companies, regulators, central bank, law enforcement. Our goal is to build trust in the blockchain. So today I might act like the bad cop to make it more exciting. So yeah, that's about me.
Hello, everyone. I'm Arnav. I am the Senior Growth Marketing Manager at Cointelegraph. I manage growth marketing across verticals for Cointelegraph. Plain and simple. So let's kick it off by setting the stage of what is CeFi and what is DeFi. I would ask Kumar to start it off by what is CeFi and what is DeFi, and how are they similar or different from each other?
I think it's, as the name is very clear, one is centralized and another is decentralized. I think the more important question is that what is defining CeFi and DeFi is that how today the audience here is going to benefit from these centralized versus decentralized system. So yeah, it's pretty much very obvious that CeFi is a centralized system which we are living from last 2000 years since the banking was invented. Why decentralized finance something came when the Bitcoin was invented in 2009, and since then it's been 12, 13 years we are progressing on that.
So Joshua, what do you think are elements that make DeFi truly unique?
Okay, fine. Yeah. So, like, I'll be very honest. I have been a person that is exposed to the entire crypto space in the last 11 months. I come from India where crypto was not very welcoming, but I believe right now there are some certain structures coming in place which is allowing us traditional investment bankers to be exposed to this world. What I have analyzed personally, I believe that I have not even touched the tip of the even the bottom, not even touched the mountain yet when it comes to an understanding of this place. But I believe that decentralized finance, I think so in our project as well, it has allowed us to create financial instruments which I believe that many organizations would not even allow us to test or practice with. And decentralized allows you to at least tweak the systems, work on it and analyze if it is actually making sense. So I believe this is what inventors want. This is what inventors want to be exposed to, a place where it is like a playground where they can experiment things, and DeFi allows you to do that.
Ellis, what are your views on it?
I worked for the bank before, so it's more centralized management, everything. As a banker, we have to make sure 100% secure. That is priority. As the CeFi, we provide the opportunity. So opportunity is a priority. So how to move from DeFi to CeFi is how we to combine the security and opportunity in a balanced way. I think that is more interesting things.
Mohammed, I'll come to you, building on what Ellis said. How do you feel we can build the elements that make CeFi successful in DeFi?
Okay, so the whole idea when Bitcoin started is to give access to the unbanked. And we're not talking about Africa, we're not talking about part of Asia, we're talking about even the UAE. Banks doesn't offer service if your salary is not less than 2,000. So DeFi, it has a potential to grow. Not only, I'm not talking definitely about the local market only, but globally. I will not start by talking what kind of risk are in DeFi, let's keep that later. But I agree with you all. There are huge potential when it comes to the DeFi with many things. If you just pick up one thing, it's easy access. The only thing that we can start with the risk, it is, can we trust it? That's the one thing. And we can discuss this after you guys tell me more about why should we trust the DeFi?
That'd be an interesting question for Kumar. Why should we trust DeFi?
No, I don't know. You are asking a wrong guy. I run a bank. I'm a pure centralized organization, banking crypto industry, which is a decentralized industry.
Try to play devil's advocate.
But I'll try to break it down. Because one of the reasons we started banking crypto company, because we believe in decentralized finance. We believe in Bitcoin and the vision which Satoshi put down in 2009. So when we talk about decentralized finance or Bitcoin, what it's essentially is doing is that it's taking the power how money was circulated or built in traditional way, and now democratizing that money creation process. So if we go and we see how the money is created, money is created today in a very short term. A central bank decides with the help of the government how much they need to create. And then there is a printer which starts printing the money like we print these badges today. Now there is a debate on that, how much ethically that is right and that is wrong. And that's what tried to be solved by Bitcoin, that why not we can have a money which is publicly auditable, which is finite as gold, and there is a work need to be done to produce that money in a very simple term. I'm not going into, and it sounds good because a sound money was actually before the creation of the central bank came was the gold. And even today gold was regarded as one of the sound wealth across geographies. Doesn't matter you are in India, you are in US, you are in Russia, or you are in Ukraine. Gold is something which is acceptable as a sound money or a way to store wealth across all the societies in the world. Now the question was that if the gold was that asset which is a best way to store wealth, when we are moving to the digital world and where things are getting digitized, so today we are doing $80 trillion of transactions, and I think most of them is happening, 99% of them is happening digitally, right? Across Singapore or New York or London, the money is today moving digitally. So it's basically money is nothing than this timer which is running here with some numbers. The only difference is that timer is controlled by some central banks or the banks. So when we are talking about Bitcoin, which is very easy to see, audit, I think it's giving the way, the people who are holding it, the power back. So if I'm holding a gold today, the power and the wealth is held by me. It's not held by someone else. Now when we move to the digital world, can we have a rare asset which is equivalent to gold, which I can hold and I can control, not someone else in my behalf? And I think that's what the benefit of decentralization and the power of Bitcoin, if we say in short.
Joshua, so being in DeFi and being involved in it, do you feel that in terms of DeFi's future, what do you think about that? Do you feel that eventually DeFi takes over CeFi? Do you feel they coexist? What do you think about it?
So before being the way I was exposed to it, I was exposed to DeFi before CeFi. So when I was exposed to it, I just immersed myself into that world, and knowing that you can actually create financial instruments, you can create combinations, and like recently we came across it's been almost a year now, reflection tokens. Like you can charge a particular fee when the token is being traded on an exchange. Like all these things allow us to think of ideas and plans that are not capable before. Like I don't know about CeFi, but I don't know if this can be executed, or charging a particular fee on the token traded, say 5% for example. But that's possible on the DeFi exchange very comfortably through Pancake Swap or Sushi Swap. So I believe that, when we talk about boundaries, see, I totally understand that, we can be part of a lot of scams or Ponzi's out there in the DeFi world. I know that's happening, 7 out of 10 times, I think so. But the potential that it has, the potential that that having no rules to the game allows creators or, genuine inventors to explore that space. So for me, I believe DeFi can really, really have unlimited potential. Yeah.
Mohammed, there is this idea in DeFi that a lot of companies seem to subscribe to, which is you can perpetually earn money in DeFi, which seems like, and you can earn absurd amounts of money. So when you're talking to clients or you're looking at projects, how do you define that, okay, this is somebody who can actually do what they are saying, and this is somebody that is trying to scam people out of their money?
Okay, so before I answer your question, I agree with what you mentioned. Definitely, DeFi, it has a huge potential, all right? So let's jump to the other side. Based on Chainalysis our reports, last year, the hacks that happened with DeFi is $3.2 billion. And that's not only about scams, that's about hacking the script itself, the smart contracts. This year, in the first 3 months alone, it's $1.3 billion. And I think some of you maybe know Axie Infinity, $600 million hack. So that is the risk that we're having. So when I'm going, as you mentioned, when we're discussing it, even if I'm discussing it with my friends, what is DeFi? Should I trust DeFi? What is going on? I say 600 million this year, another 600 million last year. This year, it was done by the Lazarus Group that we collaborated, and we retrieved so far 400 million. If anybody knows the Lazarus Group, North Korea, it's nation supported. Last year, it was done by a white hat hacker. He stole the 600 million and returned it back after 24 hours. He got, by the way, an offer to work in Poly Network. So those kind of things, when I hear them, and we hear them with our friends and discuss it, should we really trust DeFi? And answering your question is, we need to have criteria for us, the normal investors. We do need to implement a kind of, and that's actually, it's happening now, regulations. So the regulations in the country and in the UAE, they're much more opening up. And we're very lucky that we are in a country that is really taking initiative, and it can be the leader in the world. And I believe all of you, Binance headquarter, Kraken headquarter. So the ecosystem is supporting this. You've got ADGM in Abu Dhabi. They're supporting the growth of VARA now. We partner with them with BWC. They're supporting that. So you've got the regulators. We train the law enforcement here. If someone gets scammed, if an investor gets scammed, how can he trace the asset? So there are lots of risk. From our part, we try to build that kind of trust. We try to show them what kind of tool. Yes, it is, we need privacy, but at the same time, I don't know if any of you support the idea that can we stop a smart contract, or should we stop a DeFi protocol or not? It's a free economy. But if that DeFi protocol is against the law, like Tornado Cash, if anybody heard about Tornado Cash before, it's a mixer. And I debate a lot with my friends. Guys, why did you help the law enforcement to shut it down? Yes, because it was abused. The whole idea of mixers when it started is I'm an investor, The blockchain is giving me transparent. I love that. But at the same time, I want to invest in you. I want to send money for your protocol. But everybody gonna see it. I don't want that. I'm Elon Musk. I don't want that. I don't want anybody to see that, I don't know, 10 million that I'm sending it to you. So what I do is, I go through a mixer. That's how it started. But it was abused. It was abused by drug dealers. It was abused by terrorist financing. And if you want my personal, I don't care about Elon Musk, if he will be investing and it's transparent or not. I care more about the gentleman who offered me coffee today, that his uncle doesn't get scammed with his fund and lose it. I care about the Valley Parking guy. His daughter doesn't get video and into the darknet market and then someone pay by crypto. We trace this and we support this. So when I'm talking, again, to answer your question, to anyone, even my friend or the companies, we need to have regulations. We need to have some kind of support when it comes to have the DeFi as even user experience. Me and you, we can, but our friends or family or mother or sister, they cannot go in a DeFi and really go to a lending protocol. They don't know what's a smart contract. It is the future, I believe you, 100%. We invest in it.
I would stop you. Let's ask here, how many people have interacted with any kind of smart contract? Forget about the woman back in home. Let's check here.
So then I feel
but how many of you actually have also Bitcoin? Okay.
I feel the question then becomes that how is it that you need to build an infrastructure that is going to allow people to have the trust in these DeFi protocols that ultimately can help it grow? Because it's easy to invest in crypto. You can go to an exchange and you can buy whatever crypto you like. But when you actually come to understanding the mechanics of it, and then when it goes beyond exchanges, you need those, you need a very solid infrastructure to support that. So I'd actually come to Ellis about this question. Given your wealth of experience, what do you feel infrastructure-wise that we need to do? And I'll come to the government point that was really interesting. But from an infrastructure perspective, what do you think that we need to do in order to help grow this industry?
Yeah, when I was a banker, the CIO of the Moderator, actually I put a lot of the effort money to build a data center to keep the KYC, KYT, everything. Every month we need to give a report to central bank to check all of the details, no money laundry. We spend a lot of time to make sure that that is a centralized model. For sure, security, and people trust the power of the government. So that's why bank in this industry for 100 years. But when we move to decentralized, people want freedom. Freedom means I can design my financial plan combined with the commodity, token, coin, and gold together. Because maybe I not trust the local fiat. I want to put my money to swap to the coin because I believe that stability and opportunity can combine together. So life is different. Trust the government or freedom of yourself. So based on that need, what is the infrastructure you need? Since the government gives you compliance, you have to follow up, so you have to build everything. That's how bank did. But if we move to the decentralized model, quite simple. What you need to keep in your wallet, amount, coin, that's all. That's all. That's what I need. When you open an account in a bank, what you get? Bank account and amount. Correct, right? They keep your KYC, KYT because the government asks for that. For yourself, for the consumer, do you need that? No need. Because that's designed for compliance. So if we focus on a decentralized model, what you need? You just need a wallet, keep your coin and amount. That's all. For KYC, KYT, please don't keep it. Correct, right? So that's why I got a freedom. I can design, make a decision to swap any kind of the coin and token as per my wish. And I don't want anyone know my transaction. So if we move to the decentralized architecture, it's quite simple. So that is the power of the blockchain. Because it leverages all of the node in the world. It's not designed by some government, some organization, or some company. So if we move to the decentralized, in terms of the infrastructure, the design view is quite simple. So that's the difference. And the last is the benefit. And the last is the different belief. People trust the bank because they trust the power of the government. If something happens, government will be your backup. But if you move to a decentralized, you want to 100%, 200% freedom. I want to change it to BUSD, USDT. That's my choice. I don't want to keep a fiat. I want to have a BUSD. That's my freedom. So that's the major difference, centralized and decentralized.
I would just like to add here. See, because when we talk about USDT, it's a very well example of something in between, right? Because USDT, if you know, it's not a decentralized system. Yes, you can interact with the Tether, which is a stable coin, but end of the day, it's a centralized system, someone holding $80 billion of cash in your behalf. So actually, if you ask me, it's much more dangerous than this pure centralized system.
I think that's a different question. When you talk about the exchange or you talk about a token, that's the two different things. You own a token, then you can swap to any coin token you like. But if you keep your coin token in exchange, that's centralized. But if you own a coin at your wallet, no one can touch, that's a decentralized. So that is a different two things.
But it's what I try to point at, that it also depends on the coin. It's not true for every coin. And that's where people get burned quite easily.
But that's where the dichotomy comes into the picture also, is the fact that the whole system is in opposition to each other. So you're in a catch-22 where you want there to be a system that protects you, but also at the same time you want no control for other people, whether be it companies or be it the government, to have over you. And that actually gets me to my government question, which is, Joshua, in your perspective, do you feel that with DeFi we'll be able to find that middle ground with the government? Because it's fundamentally challenging establishment. Do you feel we will be able to find that middle ground so that the questions of trust, the questions of stability, the question of people actually being safeguarded from bad actors, do you feel that will ever happen?
You don't, now that like I am myself in the DeFi space, I have my protocol in the DeFi space. So you know what, now that we are discussing this, one thing I can very clearly analyze is that there are pros and cons to centralized and decentralized finance. And we have to accept it some way that, like there would be that opposition on both sides, because assuming that, you just mentioned government authorities, they coming onto the system would require some type of KYC for sure. And making that happen in the first case would not let it be centralized. Sorry, let it not be decentralized anymore. So I think so. Right now we are at a place where we are still trying to structure the entire model. And I believe that the more we have these discussions, I'll not call it debate, because debate means everyone wants to prove themselves right, but discussion so that we all come to a conclusion which helps us all understand what is best for the consumer. And because we understand that in the DeFi space, there are serious scams happening. And each of those scams is dealing with hard-earned money of people, and you know like I have personally come across some stories which are really close to me from my relatives, wherein they were passive investors. So just someone told them that put in this much and you get that much, and they never cared about the system, they never cared about KYC, they never cared about centralized, decentralized, and that took away their life savings. So, you know, I believe that, you know, centralized has its place, wherein, you know, people's investments are protected. But, you know, I am specifically telling you why decentralized finance from an invention point of view, from an experiment point of view, from a place where you can put things to practice which the centralized finance would not let you do. And I believe that, you know, this question is having a very thin line, because the more we talk about decentralized, the centralized finance guys are having some type of issue with that, with the entire setup. But, you know, yes, we have freedom, but, you know, with every system where we say there's freedom, there are always people there to misuse that system. So I believe that, you know, with more discussions, with more people coming in with their ideas and plans of how to set the platform and to set the foundations right for the future, would happen over time. Yeah.
So then, Ahmed, what do you feel is going to be, because at the end of the day, I think both sides of the aisle can agree that we want investors to be protected and them to be supported, because at the end of the day, that's how we're making money. So how do you feel, in your perspective, investor protection can be provided to the people so that they don't get burnt the wrong way without killing either of the industries?
Of course, of course. First, of course, the companies or the DeFi protocol themselves, the whole idea, it is transparent. So they really be transparent. There are the tools that we provide, but can provide that kind of insight on which counterparty that you're working with, where they get their asset, and if this asset is legit or not, and if there are any, let's say, illicit activity. 50% of last year hacks happened. It went again back to the DeFi protocols for money laundering. So you were not hacked. Everything is going fine. Your protocol is going fine. But you simply get an illicit assets that you didn't know about that was washed through the protocol. So that's exactly what we don't want that to happen. And there are the tools now, to answer your question, to protect the investors, to tell them that, listen, there are ways to have that kind of transparency, and at the same time, even if it happened, even if it got hacked, even if there is something, we still can trace it. You still can stop the transaction within the exchange. You still can retrieve the asset back to you. And we helped many cases. Of course, we don't work directly with individuals, and answering your question regarding the future, this is a huge potential for companies to come in this ecosystem and help. If someone gets scammed, if someone went to verify a DeFi, if that's legit, should I invest in or not? What kind of criteria? We don't need guys to leave everything to the regulators. We don't need to leave everything to the government. It's enough for them that our technology is the speed of light. We should not expect from them that they have the same level of knowledge that we have, but we do. We expect from them to do their own regulation and law based on us. But I'm telling you out of experience, they are doing their job, but it's hard. It's hard even to communicate that technology that we're sharing now with my friends and my mom and my sister. Imagine with the government. So we need to have private sector coming into the space. Back to your question, building trust in the ecosystem. We're doing that constantly. Our CEO and founder always invited in the Senate and in the Congress to represent the blockchain and how can we really build trust in it, and to change the mindset of the cryptocurrency that is related to illicit activity.
I believe on that note.
Arnav, I just give me 2 minutes. I just sum it up, because I understand not many people who are actually techie who understand Bitcoin, because I just did a short poll. I think just to sum up, decentralized versus centralized, I think, yes, there is hacks, there is scams, And I'm a bank now advocating decentralized finance. So certainly, I just take one small example. Probably when the cars came first, there was a big problem also with the cars because you had the horse carriage industry, which was booming those time. And then obviously it was not easy for the automobile industry to grow up. Because why you want to have a killing machine on the street? And now today we all use that killing machine. And I think the road accidents are still one of the major reason for the human deaths around the world. Maybe it kills more than one particular disease, but still we don't shut down the automobile industry because there is an advantage and disadvantage. Yes, when the cars were made, maybe some of the first people who used was maybe someone robbing the bank and using the same car to run away from it. So you can take the same example how here when it comes to the Bitcoin of these hacks, obviously the terrorists and the criminals, they are smart. Yes, they have to be smart because they have to go through the resistance of the law. And when you will put a human through the resistance, he will become smarter because he is not using the technology to enjoy. He is using the technology to survive. And survival makes the humans more smarter. So that's one of the reasons you have when any time a new technology comes, it's more used for the illegal purposes than the legal purposes, because on this side, we have our Visa, MasterCard, we are enjoying the benefits, we just swipe it left, right, and we buy whatever we want. So it's too early to actually say that what is the true potential of the whole decentralized finance, because it's still very early. We don't know. It's like talking 20 years ago that what Google was able to do with all the data. Today we know what Google is able to do with all the data. Today we use Google Maps, today we use the spreadsheet, the internet. I think if you shut down internet today for one day, we cannot imagine our lives. So if we can take the example from the internet to here, it's quite very similar. The internet was able to give people the freedom that you create your content, you decide what you want to share, you decide what you don't want to share. The same the blockchain is doing with the finance world. But do we know its true potential? I don't think I know. Maybe some of them, the audience know. Today we bank more than 500 crypto companies, which include from Binance to maybe a small exchange from your countries. And we didn't know that these exchanges, these protocols will come over the time. We are doing this from last 6 years. So we are seeing that every year you have a bull, next year you have a bear, you have people who are getting completely, like say, lost their life saving, but then you also have a new millionaires who have been made. So I think that's the beauty of the whole industry. And if we want to enjoy the power of this, something which is blockchain or this decentralized, I think we have to start learning by ourselves. Nobody is going to able to tell us that what we can do, because we all think differently, and I think we all have ability to create something new for the society. That's all.
I'd ask if Ellis or Joshua have any closing remarks.
Yeah, before I 100% believe centralized, because I work for the Web2 company like Google and Alipay, even for the bank. Now I 100% believe decentralized because of Web3. This is the model we call the technology-driven business. So that is the journey. We just in the journey. You just start. So let's see how individual can contribute their smart wisdom on the Web3. I believe now people have the more intelligence to deal with anything they want. Before, it's a new technology Web2, so we really need to rely on government, a company can manage everything for us. Now it's decentralized. You can do everything based on your ability. So Web3 give you this option and choice to have the more freedom. That's my belief.
Joshua?
I would just end by saying that, that though it be decentralized finance or centralized finance, I would tell everyone out here that whenever you're part of any protocol, please do your self-study. Make sure that it's reviewed by decent influencers who you believe in, who are really using study to back the protocol, and take your steps based on your risk appetite.
Mohammed?
First, thank you everyone for joining today. I'm very excited to see the crowd outside. When I was chatting, lots of them, I think they're so new to crypto. But it's nice. It's nice that the ecosystem is growing. It's nice to see countries are adopting it. Hopefully next year there will be more and more, let's say, companies coming to the ecosystem. It's growing. I do believe in it personally. I do invest in it. I had my master's degree in blockchain and crypto, spending effort and time to study because I do believe in it. So hopefully your companies in DeFi will grow. We have other members coming next year. At the end of the day, we do believe that the crypto is giving power to the people. DeFinance is the democracy of finance. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
On that note, I would like to thank all the panelists for their time today, and hope to see you next year as well. Thank you.